The Indiana Fever is currently the reigning champions of the WNBA Commissioner Cup, and unfortunately, star Caitlin Clark did not participate in that game, and they still won. Put the beats all over the links, man. That has been a topic of discussion. Now, I'm here to tell you, they have another big-time game coming up, and that is this upcoming Thursday, playing none other than the Las Vegas Aces. And I'm telling you right now, judging by the way it's looking, Caitlin Clark has already officially been ruled out for tomorrow match.
The basketball world just got hit with a bombshell that's about to shake the WNBA to its core. Stephanie White, head coach of the Indiana Fever, has confirmed what we've all been dreading. Caitlin Clark's injury is significantly worse than anyone initially thought.
Caitlin Clark has already been ruled out for Thursday night's game against the Las Vegas Aces. Stephanie White offering up some comments that has fans concerned this injury may be more severe than we were led to believe, have fans speculating that she's going to be held out all the way up until All-Star.
What started as a simple groin strain has morphed into something far more serious, and the ramifications are already sending shockwaves through the league. We're not talking about missing a game or two here. We're talking about Clark potentially being sidelined for weeks, maybe even through the All-Star break.
Once again, Caitlin Clark is hurt, and I'm really getting sick of it. I'm sick. I already offered her, what was hurt last time? Her hamstring. I think it was her hamstring. I offered her my hamstring. Of course she can have my groin. Of course she can have my wife's groin, my dog's groin, my kid's groin. I'm sick of it. I'm watching the Commissioner's Cup because I truly love the WNBA, not just for Caitlin Clark. I love the Lynx. Love them. They're probably actually one of my favorite teams. But I am so sick of not seeing CeCe's ass on this court. So I don't know what we got to do. I saw she got her leg covers. I saw she got that. I don't know what they need to do or what she needs to do less of for her to be healthy. But I need to see her on that court. And I need to see her playing well, okay?
Let's break down this nightmare timeline. First, Clark missed 5 games with a quad injury that kept her out for 3 weeks. Just when everyone thought she was back to full strength, boom, another injury. This time, it's a left groin strain that's proven to be far more stubborn than anyone anticipated. She's already missed 4 consecutive games, and there's no end in sight.
Caitlin Clark ruled out for Thursday with a groin injury. How they were playing this entire time between day-to-day and game-time decision and questionable, I was skeptical. I had to go straight to the source, and sure enough, the Indiana Fever, more than 24 hours advance, let fans know, hey, Caitlin's not going to be there. Instead of having you drive 5 hours only to realize 2 hours away, she's out. After flying 10 hours, only to realize 5 hours in the air, she's out. After coming all the way from Australia, over 8,000 miles, to watch Caitlin Clark only to land and hear, she's out.
Coach White has been crystal clear about their approach. My goal has always been the same. I don't want this to be something that lingers, that we come back too soon. We want to make sure that she is 100% ready to go and that we put her long-term health and wellness at the forefront. Translation? They have no idea when she's coming back, and they're terrified of making it worse.
Standard for us.
You see Caitlin down there. Is there anything new about her status or day-to-day? Is she going to be able to play tomorrow?
No, she's going to be out tomorrow.
Is there any updated timeline in your head of when she could return this weekend, sooner after that?
I don't have anything in my head other than what I'm told. You know, my goal has always been the same. Like, I don't want this to be something that lingers, that we come back too soon. We want to make sure that she is 100% ready to go and that we put her long-term health and wellness.
And here's where it gets absolutely devastating for the WNBA. The numbers don't lie, folks. Since Clark went down, nationally televised WNBA viewership has plummeted by a staggering 55%. Let that sink in for a moment. More than half of the league's television audience has vanished into thin air the moment Caitlin Clark couldn't lace up her sneakers. The Fever's own nationally televised games have crashed by 53%, dropping from an average of 1.81 million viewers with Clark to just 847,000 without her. That's not just a dip, that's a free fall off a cliff.
Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and end this Caitlin Clark debate, man, because it is Caitlin the Great One, and you make sure you recognize her as such, man. Listen here, her viewership, ticket sales, merchandise sales, no matter what she played, it's going out the roof. TV ratings going out the roof. I mean, she is making people think twice about women athletes. You know what I'm saying? She is an advocate for women athletes. I mean, it's making people wanting to invest more, man. The Caitlin Clark effect is real. Did you not see it in Iowa? You know, record-breaking ticket sales, record-breaking jersey sales, breaking records on the floor. I mean, what else do you want from this woman, man? This woman has given y'all her everything.
If you are enjoying, please subscribe. The WNBA is in full-blown panic mode, and rightfully so. They've spent decades trying to build a sustainable fan base, and then along comes Caitlin Clark, single-handedly delivering the kind of viewership numbers that executives only dream about. Now she's gone, and the harsh reality is setting in. Without Clark, the league is back to square one. Games that should be drawing massive crowds are echoing with emptiness. The Commissioner's Cup final, which should have been a marquee event, had to proceed without their biggest star. It's like hosting the Super Bowl without the star quarterback.
Nothing about it being a game-time decision these last couple games and being able to rule her out today. Is there any extra kind of concern about just, that little change in?
I don't know if there's extra concern as more of like, hey, let's just maintain perspective. She wants to play, and she's working to play, and she has been working to play. And I think after a few days, it's like, okay, we've got a little bit of time. Thinking 5 games before All-Star break, we've got a little bit of time. So let's just ease her mind, even though she's antsy, and let's do this the right way and make sure that we're ready to go.
But here's the million-dollar question that's eating away at the league's foundation. Why should fans continue to support the WNBA when the players themselves seem to despise their biggest star? The All-Star voting results revealed a shocking truth. Clark's own peers ranked her as just the 9th best guard in the league, despite her receiving over 1.2 million fan votes and leading the league in multiple categories. Dick Vitale didn't mince words, calling it absolutely pure jealousy and pointing out that Clark has been responsible for chartered flights, salary increases, sold-out crowds, and improved TV ratings. Even LeBron James had to step in and support posts criticizing the way Clark has been treated by her fellow players.
We gotta show this lady some respect, because can you imagine being the face of the league, the mental health that comes with that? And she still got that demeanor about herself, like nothing really phases her. Like, come on, man, she human. She gonna make mistakes. She gonna have bad games. But don't you see, no matter what she going through, she get up and go hard in the paint. The Caitlin Clark effect is real. Ain't no Paige Buckles effect. Ain't no Angel Reese effect. I mean, come on, man. I mean, it don't matter what she play at. She is the face of the league. I mean, this right here is uncomparable. I mean, Caitlin Clark, the away games, when her away games see more viewership than some of her home games. People coming to see Caitlin. Ever since she has entered the league, man, the ticket sales, TV ratings has went up.
Caitlin Clark's groin injury is not an isolated incident, but rather the culmination of sustained physical punishment that the WNBA has neglected to address for months. Her performance has significantly declined since her return from a quad injury on June 14. In her last 3 games, Clark is shooting a dismal 1 for 23 from three-point range, and her field goal percentage has dropped to 27%. Turnovers have surged to nearly 5 per game. These statistics indicate more than just a rough patch. They suggest a player whose physical well-being has been compromised. Her season-low 6 points against Seattle, a game where her turnovers outnumbered her points for the first time in her career, now appears less like a slump and more like a disregarded warning.
Caitlin Clark does not need to play another game until she's completely 100% healthy. If that means she has to miss multiple weeks, so be it, because you don't want to get into the habit of her rushing back from injuries when she's not fully healthy, and we know if one nagging injury can lead to another nagging injury. So the best thing that the Indian Fever can do, regardless of what Caitlin Clark wants to do, you have to protect your star, your superstar, because she's going to want to get on the court. But until she's 100% healthy, she does not need to play another basketball game for the Indians.
Caitlin Clark has faced an alarming pattern of targeting this WNBA season, absorbing an unprecedented 17% of all flagrant fouls committed. This isn't coincidental. 80% of these fouls originate from a single team, from Kennedy Carter's blindside hit to the systematic targeting by the Chicago Sky and the eye poke and shove sequence against Connecticut. Clark has endured physical punishment that would have ended careers in previous eras. Despite this, the players responsible have faced minimal consequences, typically receiving only fines or technical fouls. For instance, Marina Mabrey, who delivered a devastating body check after Clark was poked in the eye, received only a technical that was later upgraded to a flagrant with no suspension or real repercussions.
Real talk, a lot of y'all records she coming from. She coming for him. At the end of the day, y'all can't stop nothing, bro. Y'all trying to beat her up and bruise her up and take her out the game and injure her, bro. We know what the motive is, dog. Like, don't nobody like that. I don't vouch for that. I don't like that. You hear me? Y'all not leading. Look, y'all need to get that out y'all heart. Cause that's some deep demonic stuff. The way y'all thinking and how y'all moving and having y'all little meetings and all of that and wanna plot against this woman and her teammates that have her back. Y'all better leave her, Sophie Cunningham.
The Caitlin Clark effect isn't just about basketball. It's about cultural relevance. When she's on the court, the sport transcends its typical boundaries. Fans camp outside arenas for days just to catch a glimpse of her warming up. Ticket prices soar to astronomical heights because people are willing to pay premium prices to witness greatness. She's not just playing basketball. She's creating moments that people will remember forever. But when she's gone, the magic disappears and fans are left wondering why they should invest their time and money in a league that seems determined to undermine its own golden goose. Even while injured, Clark continues to be the main attraction. Footage of her signing autographs on the sideline draws more attention than some teams' entire games. Fans still hover around her during warm-ups, hoping to catch a moment with their hero. She's literally sitting on the bench, unable to play, and she's still the most compelling figure in the building. That's not just star power. That's a phenomenon that transcends the sport itself. The league has struck gold with Clark, but they're treating her like fool's gold.
Because it is the Caitlin Clark effect, baby. It is like dominoes, and her game speak for itself. She is breaking records. She broke records at Iowa. What more do y'all want from Caitlin, the great one? I'm telling y'all, in a couple of years, scoring title, assist record breaking assists, all that, man. Did you not see the All-Star votes? She had millions of All-Star votes. I mean, she gotta have more lovers than haters at this point. The Caitlin Clark effect is real, and man, it's making people think twice about women athletes, man, and women's sports in general. No matter who the athlete is, making big investors wanting to invest into women athletes, and that could be good for women athletes. That means pay going up.
Meanwhile, other teams are struggling to justify their existence. Angel Reese's games are drawing crowds that wouldn't fill a high school gymnasium. The contrast is so stark, it's almost comical. Clark returns to Iowa and sells out a 15,000-seat arena with tickets going for $670.00 each. Reese can't fill seats even when they're practically giving tickets away. The brutal reality is that most fans don't care about the other storylines, the other rivalries, or the other stars. They want to see Caitlin Clark, and when she's not available, they're not interested. The All-Star Game is looming on July 19th, and there's genuine concern about whether Clark will be healthy enough to participate. She's been named a captain and received the most fan votes in league history. But what good is that if she's watching from the sidelines? The entire event has been built around her presence, scheduled in her home city of Indianapolis. Without Clark, the All-Star Game risks being just another exhibition that casual fans will ignore. The league's biggest promotional opportunity could turn into a massive disappointment.
Let's look at the WNBA and Caitlin Clark. Who is set to make WNBA players more money? Is it Angel Reese, the author of the Me Bound? The Me Bound that she's now going to copyright, and she's trying to get all the rights to it so she can glorify the Me Bound? Basically a made-up stat for someone who can't hit layups? No, it's not Angel Reese. Does Angel Reese help add to the legend that is Caitlin Clark? For sure. Caitlin Clark is going to print money for the
WNBA needs to take a long, hard look in the mirror and ask themselves some difficult questions. How did they let their most valuable asset become so vulnerable to injury? Why haven't they done more to protect the player who's single-handedly responsible for the league's recent surge in popularity? The answer is simple. They've been too busy trying to promote parity and equality instead of recognizing that some players are simply more valuable than others. Clark isn't just another player. She's the player. She's the reason the WNBA is relevant in mainstream sports conversation. The uncomfortable truth is that the WNBA has a Caitlin Clark problem, but not in the way most people think. The problem isn't that she's too popular or too successful. The problem is that she's exposed how mediocre the rest of the league really is. When you have one player who can single-handedly transform viewership numbers, attendance figures, and cultural relevance, it highlights just how much the league has been struggling without her. Other players can complain about the attention she receives, but they can't replicate the magic she brings to the court.
I don't know if it's ever been a more powerful woman in the sport of basketball than Caitlin Clark. I ain't saying she the greatest basketball player of all time. Matter of fact, I mean, she only in her second year, so we don't know what she's gonna accomplish. But I'm talking about what is happening right now. I didn't even know that when Caitlin Clark and the Fever go on the road, that they play in NBA arenas. Yeah, they play in the NBA arenas because she's putting butts in seats, filling out arenas. So she's filling out 30,000 plus everywhere she go. That's powerful. That's moving.
The stakes couldn't be higher for the WNBA's future. Every game Clark misses is a missed opportunity to build on the momentum she's created. Every empty arena is a reminder that the league's success is built on incredibly shaky ground. If Clark suffers another injury, or if this current injury lingers longer than expected, the league could find itself back in the dark ages of irrelevance. The window of opportunity that Clark has opened might close just as quickly as it appeared. This injury situation serves as a brutal wake-up call for the WNBA. They need to recognize that Caitlin Clark isn't just a player. She's the lifeline that's keeping the league afloat in mainstream consciousness. The jealousy and resentment from her peers need to be addressed because it's counterproductive to the league's growth. Clark has elevated everyone's salaries, improved travel conditions, and brought unprecedented attention to women's basketball. Instead of celebrating her success, too many players seem determined to tear her down.
It is no secret that Caitlin Clark has been struggling in her shooting since coming back from injury. She had that big game right after the initial leg injury where they played the Liberty, they beat the Liberty. She had 30-something, Sabrina had 30-something. It was a fantastic game. But since then, she has been really struggling from the field. There's been reports of her maybe having her migraine issues again. There's been reports of her in interviews she's been coughing a lot and kind of sniffling, was she sick? And now she is out for tonight's game because of a groin injury. And even in her post-game interview the other night, she said, it felt good coming out of my hands and then it just wasn't going in. They feel good. They feel like typical Caitlin Clark shots. She doesn't feel like anything is different, but then they just weren't going in. And then we saw this at the end of the game the other night. It almost looked like it was her leg and ankle again. She gets up, Erica Wheeler comes and helps her. She's doing some stretching. We're like, oh, is it the ankle?
The bottom line is this. Caitlin Clark is the WNBA's golden ticket, and they're dangerously close to losing it. Her injury is worse than anyone initially thought, and the league's response will determine whether they can maintain the momentum she's created or watch it all crumble. The viewership numbers tell the story better than any commentary could. Without Clark, the WNBA is just another niche sport struggling for relevance. With her, it's appointment television. The league better pray she gets healthy soon because their future depends on it. The Caitlin Clark effect isn't just changing the game, it is the game. And right now, the game is in jeopardy.